Hi, I'm Christina. I am psyched to be here. FaceTime with builders is my absolute favourite time of year. Don't tell my teams that, but it really is. And in this room, I see like one or two familiar faces and then like hundreds of people. And I don't even know what happened since last year. It's kind of crazy, but I'm really, really excited to see you. So a little bit about me, for those of you who don't know me. I like to tell people I started my gaming career when I was 8 years old on an Amstrad CPC 464. Yeah, I've got some British people in the room because that's what we had in New Zealand. It ran BASIC, and I used to load Manic Miner from a cassette tape built into the end of my keyboard. So I will let you guess my vintage, but please don't tell me your guesses. I don't need to be reminded about that. My first real gaming gig was managing an Eng team at Blizzard in Paris. And then they picked up our entire team and moved us to the United States. And I switched from managing an Eng team to being the first UX designer at that company. And I hired in the first user researcher and built that discipline. I worked mostly on BattleNet, designing identity and social systems. And then I did a little tour of duty on StarCraft 2 and Heroes of the Storm. And then an Oculus recruiter called me and tried really hard to get me to come in, and I kept saying no. And then he said, "I'll show you the secret room." And I said, "I want to see the secret room. What's the secret room?" And I came to see the secret room, and that was the end of that. So GG Recruiter, I joined Oculus right before the acquisition, came on board to what was then Facebook in 2014. I was the PM for Oculus Home on Gear VR, on Rift, on Oculus Go, and then on the first Quest 1 before I went off to try something else. I did a tour of duty on mobile free-to-play games on Facebook and Messenger. And all of that experience has led me here to standing in front of you today. Eventually I came back to Horizon Economy. I work with David, who is at the back of the room. We will be doing another talk on Thursday. Don't sign up for 2 talks in 1 week. That's a really crazy thing. Don't know why I said yes. Jen, love you, but that was insane of me to do that. Okay, and I really care, you're going to get this vibe a lot from me. I really care about making creators rich. That's the thing that gets me out of bed every morning. That's how I recruit engineers to our team. That's how I keep them really motivated in what we're doing, and it's not that hard. And I care most about the avatars, but we'll talk about not the avatars as well. Okay. I feel like Summit and Conference are a little bit in reverse order. So like I said, David and I have a session on Thursday. It's similar sounding. At this session, we're going to do fewer topics and go deeper. And I would like to spend more time on Q&A than we will probably have time for on Thursday. And I not just questions, but also your feedback on what you most need from us. Does that sound good? Is everyone excited about digital items? Okay, great. All right, let's dive in. Now we're going to do Economy 101. So for those of you with deep free-to-play gaming experience, bear with me. Not everybody has it, and this helps anchor everything else we talk about. First, economy is not monetization on its own, not just monetization. The goal definitely is to get you paid, but in free-to-play, the majority of your players are what I call earners. They either can't or won't pay, and what they want to do is exchange time and effort for things they value. Because earners are upwards of 95% of your audience, they're basically all of the social density. So I like to think about payers through the lens of earners. And I think about them this way. There's no point owning a Ferrari if no one can see you drive it down the street or if you're the only driver in the race. So earners are the teammates, the competition, and the admiring audience for your spenders. The trick, the balancing act, the hard thing in free-to-play is making both audiences feel like they're getting good value out of what they're willing to exchange, whether it's time or money. what are the things of value, guys? It's the digital items. In my mind, it's the digital items. So we break them down in a few ways in our economy team. Durables are things that people typically acquire once, they're going to keep forever. Think weapons and props. Consumables are things they buy or acquire, use up, and then all going well, acquire again. And they can be offered as ones or packs of things. Then we think about in-world things, which can only be used in your world or a small constellation of worlds that are designed to work together, or what we call portable things, which I don't think is on any of our documentation, but that's how we talk about it. And these are things that players can take anywhere. The thing that you have access to right now is avatar clothing that is portable, and that means players can wear it in your world, they can wear it in your friends' worlds, they can wear it in their Facebook stickers and their Instagram stickers. So outside of Horizon, the value of these digital items is mostly cosmetic. It's about looking good and feeling good. But inside Horizon, digital items should be making your worlds more engaging. So we're going to talk about a few of them, maybe a bit of a lightning round. Okay, so the options are near endless. I'm going to cover a couple of common ones. You need to decide and add what makes sense for your game loop. So, the other thing you need to decide is whether they are purchasable, earnable, or both. And then the big decision, although often I find that people have pre-made this decision, is whether your world game experience is pay to win or not. And I tend to find that that decision is a question of dogma. You're either open to it or you're not, and there's not really a spectrum. But you do you. Okay, so the most obvious digital item is a world, we call them world resources. Sometimes people call them digital currencies. At the platform level, we have meta credits, which are purchasable for fiat, and meta points, which are earnable for time spent. And there's no blurring, that's a hard line, but you can choose differently, and then once your players have your resource, you can let them exchange it for other items of value. So this is probably the first thing to consider doing. In very, very deep mobile free-to-play games, there can be upwards of 10 or more. I've seen games that have a different resource for every type of shop in the game. I've seen them ship seasonal resources or multiple seasonal resources, so you can really get a lot of juice for the squeeze out of these. And then another thing that people can be really motivated by is progressing faster or feeling stronger. You can offer boosts to any stat, and the boosts can be permanent or temporary. So your stats can be really traditional RPG type things like defense and damage and crit. But they can also be rates, so drop rates, chance rates, the rate of earning XP, or the rate of earning your digital resource. Anything that feels like a leg up can be a thing that somebody might be willing to invest in, and it's just trying it. Potions can be like the item, how you give the boost, that's like the thing they buy, but actually the effect of the potion and consuming the potion is getting a boost. Potions can also just replenish other resources like hit points or mana, depending on your game. And then in the category of time savers, puzzle games, it's pretty common to offer solutions. If somebody's really, really stuck, you do not want stuck people to churn. So you can give them a path through. And then skipping wait timers. So if you have chests or loot boxes in your game, letting people skip the wait with another digital item. This is the one that everybody sort of goes to really quickly. Props and cosmetics, won't spend a ton of time here. They're typically durable. Your props can be weapons or other things that an avatar holds or uses using an attachment point on the avatar. I've seen everything from traditional swords and blasters to shovels and cocktails and pointers and customized dice, I think I saw at one point for one of our worlds. And then you can layer in cosmetics to dress up the props. Again, it's just about making a decision about what makes sense for your game. And then exclusive content. I think Rebecca talked about this a little bit. So this can look like a season's pass that gives access to a second tier of rewards. So maybe everyone has access to a basic tier. The season's pass gives you access to the fancy tier of rewards. It can be temporary or permanent access to locked areas like a VIP area or extra content. That's like 8 of millions of possibilities. My best advice on this is to play many games, not for very long periods of time, just to get a sense of what the digital economy looks like. On Facebook, this is my hot tip because I worked on Facebook games. So on Facebook, you can play lots of free-to-play games, mobile games, without downloading anything. fb.gg/play. fb.gg/play. Or you can do what I do and sort of loom over the shoulder of your children. And when they're playing, like ask questions about the economy. And my kids now have like this encyclopedic knowledge of consumables versus durables and what they should spend their birthday money on and what they definitely should not spend their birthday money on. Thank you very much. Which I don't know if that makes playing games better for them or worse. They also have this like notion that I know every game developer in the world. So they'll play a game and be like, Mommy, can you email the Minecraft developers and ask them to change this? And I'm like, no, you can build it. It's your job. At some point, I need to retire, which means you need to start building. Okay, but I think they actually like it. Sometimes they come to me and they're like, Mom, let me show you this thing that I got in the game. Because they know, and they're like, it's for work. And I'm like, I just got done with 12 hours of work. I don't need to like spend more time thinking about this. Cool, and then the other thing that's really important is introduce people to digital items by giving them something for free. Let them feel how cool it is to have the digital item, how powerful they feel, how much faster they progress through content, whatever is right. Just let them feel it, then let it run out, or show them a better one so that they're motivated to spend time and money getting the next thing. So we talked a little bit about buying and earning things as quest rewards. What do you mean quest rewards, lady? That's fair. We slid that one under the radar in March. You've been able to create quests for ages, right? But in March, we shipped the ability to attach in-world items as rewards. And some of you noticed and have done that. Many of you have not. So I thought it was worth mentioning because we're going to do more here. There's nothing like having something to do with something I want at the end of it. On the other hand, a list of quests that doesn't have rewards is like Mum handed me a chore list. Thanks. Not that cool. So think about what your rewards should be, and your payers will spend time earning. They will just also pay. In the earner category, often they will only invest time and effort. So quest rewards drive time spent and engagement, which, I don't know, I've heard we care about that. Do we care about time spent and engagement? Does that matter to you guys? I think that matters. Okay, cool. So today you have the quest gizmo. It's not the perfect primitive. We've looked at what some of you have done with clothing stores, and we're investing in what I call reward-centric discovery. So instead of putting a quest board on a wall and hoping people see it, put the rewards in your world, and we will shortly give you an API to summon up the reward details and the quest details onto a panel so players can go that way, which I hope will be better. Okay, great. Does anyone here like avatar clothing? Yay! Okay. Avatar items are special. Why are they special? Because players embody an avatar 100% of the time. They signal my identity. You learn a little bit about who I am when you see me wearing my clothing or a fantastical skin. A little bit about my personality. If I'm wearing a concert t-shirt, you kind of know what kind of music I listen to. And if I'm wearing something that was really, really hard to earn, you learn about what I care about and what I do in worlds, and either how good I am at a game or how willing I am to grind it out. I'm not good at a game, but I'm very willing to grind it out. Ask me about who played World of Warcraft. Who had the title, The Insane? Yeah, there's like 2 hands because it was insane. It was a ridiculous time sink. Worth it. So we talked about this. They're portable. You can use them in worlds, take them to Facebook, take them to Instagram, show them off all over the place. And that extra utility can mean more motivation to spend time and money. I mentioned this earlier. Clothing is the most complex thing we do. Everything takes longer than we want. Adding features is really hard, and so one of the things we need your help with is getting a really strong sense of priority, because unfortunately, even though our company seems infinitely large, each team working on these things is very much not infinitely large, and so we do really need to get a sense of what is the most important thing to do for you guys next. And I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge my friends in the Alpha for Clothing. Can I have hands, people who participated in the Alpha for Clothing? Thank you. I know many people wanted to be in that Alpha, and many people were upset that they weren't in the Alpha. But please know that the people who just put their hands up had to muscle through an extreme number of bugs and an unreasonable number of questions to answer to make sure that we got that ready for everyone. And I just really appreciate all of you who did that with us. And I'll be coming at you for more of those things because I think they're really helpful to us. What we have seen is that every time we add a capability, you absolutely crush our expectations and you teach us 6 things we didn't know, didn't plan for. I definitely didn't think we had built enough product for clothing store worlds to show up. I certainly didn't expect them to show up in week 1, but that's what happened. So the results for us looking in have been kind of bananas, and I think we've heard from some of you that they've been bananas as well, and that's good. Bananas is a good thing where I'm from. Do you guys, is that a good thing where you're from? I don't know. Okay, so what you'll notice is that I'm not talking about how to create clothing. I'll tell you very basically. You go to the Horizon Creator portal, you pick a template, you retexture it, but you actually only edit the color map. We haven't given you anything else. You can do it with Gen AI, or you can pull down the color map, paint it locally, re-upload it. The reason I'm not going further than that is because I'm not an artist. If making avatar clothing depended on writing good documents, I would be an excellent avatar clothing creator, but I'm actually not at all. And you have people in this room who are. And their mentoring sessions are incredible. And if you haven't signed up for them, you should do so. I see a face over here who does mentoring sessions. So look out for those opportunities. Do invest. They are much better people to tell you how to make avatar clothing than I will ever be. But we will keep trying to build features for you guys. The other thing I wanted to mention here is check the box that lets people acquire the clothing outside of worlds. That's what makes the clothing, there you go, somebody likes that. That's what makes the clothing available to the avatar editor. It also makes it available to a new feature we have coming on, the AI stylist, that we'll talk more about on Thursday. And it's what gives you access to deep links, which we'll get into in a bit. Okay, so what's next? Well, more categories of clothing. Headwear definitely coming, and more templates for the clothing. I know those of you who can do 3D modeling and who are professional character creators desperately want to just get into Maya and Blender and model from the ground up. We will get there. We will not get there super, super quickly. We are pushing into cosplay. We shipped that guy on Friday, and I've seen some fantastic creations with it. And we need your feedback. Which categories of cosplay are most helpful for your world? Early in 2026, these guys, fantastical avatars, it's a full swap. Those ones you will be able to model from the ground up. And you'll be able to create them with Gen AI as well, and stick around at Connect. There's some demos you should see. So because we can't get you into Maya and Blender immediately, we do want to enable richer editing. So this guy, we call this modular creation. We will build these kits of compatible components. You'll be able to swap helms, torsos, sleeves, legs, give you a greater variability in the silhouette. Did I talk about that? We call them silhouettes because template is like, I don't know, applies to 900 different things. And so we think about silhouettes because fashion is about shape. So I do need your input there. And then we want to open editing more of the texture maps, so normals, materials, things like that. And again, would love to understand which of those would be more helpful. Okay, the button didn't work. Please work. Okay, item overrides. This is a new API. This is avatar clothing as part of your gameplay. This can be used by anyone who's created clothing. So this is profit or perish. You play profit or perish, you earn their world resource, you go to their in-game store, it's on the left right there, and you unlock these outfits, and then in the game, the player can choose the outfit. The world is calling an API to override their current clothing with an outfit, so they can change into it for gameplay. So for this game, it's about progression. When fantastical avatars come online, everything you can do with clothing, you will also be able to do with fantastical avatars. But you can use overrides for more game loops than progression. So you can assign people to team colors if you're building things like shooters. You can put people in role-play costumes. I think Comco Theatre, I don't know if we have them here. Don't mind me stalking your socials and grabbing videos and things. I think theirs are actually sold, but I thought that the Reel was a good example of talking about role-play. And then you can do try before you buy. So you could let people run around in a piece of clothing in your world and then motivate them to actually acquire it. I swear I saw in Discord a creator talking about having a fitting room in their world, and I went back to find that share and it was lost to me forever. So I'm just showing clothing from Graffiti Warehouse. Do I have Joe Bear in the room? I'm not sure. Yay, hi! I love this world so much, and the clothing, it's why I'm wearing it. So sorry about the creator who said about the fitting rooms, I just couldn't find the thing. But that's another use case. Okay, so item traits are coming on clothing. Traits, attributes, stats. We named this feature like 6 times. Anyone who works with me will tell you that Christina has hills she will die on. This was one. You will add a player-facing description to tell people what the traits are. You'll add a JSON blob that is invisible to everyone but your world. So put whatever you want in it as long as it's correctly formatted JSON. You will call an API when players enter the world or when they change their clothing to check which of your traits the player has equipped. Because it would be entirely unreasonable to make this entire group of people align to a global list of stats, we are remaining completely unopinionated about what the stats are. The API will only return your traits to you, and it won't return your traits to any other world. So go crazy, and I'm really excited to see what you will teach me this time. Cool. Okay. Oh, look, it's just a set of slides of hills I die on. The other hill I die on is Unlocking the scale of Facebook and Instagram for Horizon World creators. That's so validating. Thank you. So, you've heard a lot about, the worlds going out to Facebook and Instagram, but a world is like this gigantic chunk of content, and you ship it once, and you do update it, but it's like a big content investment. Your digital items are smaller content investments, and I want to see your digital items reach into Facebook and Instagram and bring people back. That was the point of getting 1 billion people to adopt avatars. So we just shipped a feature, Lord, a week ago? Help me out. People have been posting, a week ago, I think, called Avatar Posts. You can share your avatar wearing your clothing to stories on Facebook and Instagram. And people are going to be able to see and acquire your clothing direct from the story. So you start on your own Horizon profile. Tap Share, tap Share Avatar Video, I think it says Avatar Video, you'll find it. You choose an emote, it's like a dance, more coming. You generate a background with Gen AI and edit your avatar if you need to, if you didn't do it going in, and then the sharing flow is going to take you either into Facebook or Instagram, where you'll use the normal story editing features. The most important thing is this: add a sticker or some text telling people to tap the avatar. The interaction is there, but it's pretty hidden, so you might as well just make it really, really obvious. And then on your story, we have a feature called Look Inspector. I worked at Blizzard, so I just keep talking about WoW. It's like World of Warcraft called and said, welcome to 2004. Look Inspector shows everything you're wearing. And it can get people to a detail page to acquire the clothing. We are at MVP stage on this feature. There is a lot to come. For example, when you get to a detail page, there's a creator name and it's not tappable, and it really should be, and so that's on the way. And that creator name, when it's tappable, will take someone all the way into the avatar editor and show all of the clothing that you made. See, this guy. Can somebody get him a gold star or something? Thank you, I like you. Okay, so what I was saying about my outfit up at the top, sometimes I run around in a weird mix of clothing. That's actually like Rev 3. I'm typically wearing something paid from a creator, something free, something earned from a quest, something acquired with meta points. But it can be hard to make a coherent outfit that way. So I was in, where's Immorgal? I was in Immorgal's apparel world, running around in my weird outfit, and a world visitor walked up to me and he said, "Ha ha, you look weird." Hello, thanks man, I love you. That's funny, right? But it does actually reinforce the point. Avatars matter, avatar items matter. People care about what they're wearing and they care about what you're wearing, and seeing other people wearing stuff can make them want it. So, should I talk about this? We'll get to it. Which brings me to not meta platforms, not Facebook, not Instagram. So deep links, you've had them for a long time for worlds and events, and I think you're going to talk about that? Matt's going to talk about that, maybe a little bit? Cool. But I like to lurk in your Discords. Is that creepy? Is that weird? My Instagram feed is destroyed because it's just Horizon creators. I was telling Sadie Chan, I stalk her stories constantly, and then I snip them and I send them to my team. And so you guys don't know, but they're traveling. Ideally, you could be able to link your communities to all of the content, not just the worlds, but everything you create inside the content. So you can get them, oh God, I have to look at the screen. You can get them for the individual items if you've listed outside your worlds in that modal on the creator portal, which we're moving to the developer dashboard soonish, but the UI will be basically the same. This storefront one is a link to all of your items that you've listed. So please be sharing that one. Thank you. We'd like to add deep links for quests. We'd like to add them for rewards. Maybe world coordinates or destinations inside your world other than spawn. So if you have a really big world, you can send, I imagine in my mind, I build up these stories of a creator sitting in Discord and saying, I shipped a new quest line, but it's way far from spawn. So I think that's maybe a good idea, but we would love feedback on that. So keep us posted if there are other things that should be deep linkable. Okay, how do they work? It's worth noting they don't work perfectly yet, but I do think that sometimes something live is better than perfect. So creators can start using it and then yelling about what doesn't work or what's most important, and that helps us figure out what to do next. They will probably always work better on meta platforms than they do outside. I think I talked about this during Rebecca's session in Q&A, because we can detect things when a user is on Facebook or Instagram and get them to deal with something and fix something before we send them off to the deep link. So on Discord, they don't all show link previews, but an EM did send me one last night that did, so I know that's coming. They don't work on desktop yet, and I'm not sure how many of your communities are using Discord on desktop or whether they're all mobile. So if you have any signals, I'd love to know. And the avatar ones won't work when someone is logged out yet. But the good thing to know is there's lots of investment in this space. There's multiple teams working on deep links. They're fixing and streamlining the experience. They're making it much faster for a brand new user to get into Horizon and get started. Because of course, once you've sent a deep link to Discord, which is your very engaged community, they can copy paste it and stick it in iMessage, right? And they can just send it to their friends. And we think that's really important. So please keep checking and trying and telling us what's working and what's not working. And with all the investment in the space, this is a really good time. Okay, so that's a quick look at digital items and how we're hoping they can drive your business growth. Rich creators, that's the goal, as many as possible. On Thursday at Connect, we'll cover a little bit of this, but at lightning speed. We're planning to share a larger checklist of things you could be doing now. I'm going to talk about your communities. I'll talk a little bit about creator profiles. Because we want you to be able to not only grab them when they've already put on the headset or picked up their phone and they know where they're going. We want you to be able to use all of this stuff to tell them to pick up the headset and tell them to pick up the phone and get them directly into your world. So, feedback, questions.
Where are we going first? Here.
Sweet. Hello. Very exciting stuff coming up. Oh, did I?
Sorry. Multiple microphones. What do we do?
My bad.
I was like, where's the voice coming from?
Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, very exciting stuff. This is obviously a very flexible question, but I'm just curious. With free versus earned versus paid content, do you have a rule of thumb about what percentage of the content that exists in your world should fall into each of those categories?
No. I don't like ratios. I kept getting pushed on this. Free content for me is about getting started. So to me, it's just enough to understand the value and motivated to pay or earn more. So free, minimal. And then earned and paid, it's not about a ratio of content. In my mind, it's about understanding the ratio of players and making sure both cohorts are served and feel good about it. And there's been really good over the years GDC talks. I was like the developer of Spiral Knights, Digital Extremes, who developed Warframe. They've done really good GDC talks on tuning this kind of thing because it really is a balancing act. It can be one of the hardest things to figure out. So No guidance on ratio, but expect to need to tune it and minimize free things. Hi.
Hi, Josh Cap 510. Love what's going on with the clothing. The storefront collection is huge on getting this stuff out there. What I'm wondering is if there would be a way to sort of make collections and present them as a storefront. So if I'm doing a theme line, can package that in a storefront collection without having to do it through an external list.
I really love it when you ask for the roadmap.
Well, you know, I'm trying.
My friend Sadie Chan, wave at the group. Sadie put up what I would call collections in her link tree, linked from her Instagram bio, and I was like, oh my God, guys, we need to do creator collections. Look what she's done. So yes, coming, don't have a timeline for you, definitely important. Who's got the mic? Guys.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Elin Meta. I'm usually just a scripter, but right now I'm looking at different things that look amazing and looking at how now customization for avatar, your clothing or everything, it looks amazing. It allows really wide variety of expression, of self-expression for different people. Mm-hmm. But I'm also looking now at how fantastical skins are. And my question would be like, is there any thought for future on once you have a fantastical skin, be able to customize their clothing, so to be able to customize the fantastical skin itself?
Right, good question. You will be able to offer variants of fantastical avatars. Whether a fantastical avatar should wear clothing is a matter of very hot debate internally. I think it's tricky, because if I come to you as a creator and say, please make shirts, here is we call them Style 2, the humanoid avatars, right? Style 2. You can make them for the Style 2 avatars, or you could make a shirt for any one of thousands of fantastical avatars. I think that makes for a confusing, like, oh my God, where do I focus proposition for creators. And then if you think about the clothing store patterns and how we're going to apply that to Quest rewards, the reward-centric discovery, if I'm a user and I see a cool shirt, I'm like, yeah, I want that shirt. And then it turns out it's only compatible for a fantastical avatar I don't own. You have like a vert count cap in your world. So variants definitely, clothing, we can't make it all work, if that's what you're going to ask. We can't make a shirt arbitrarily work for our humanoid avatars and any manner of fantastical avatars. So, not yet.
Okay. No, I was not going to ask about that. I was going to ask you to expand a little bit on how exactly these variants are going to be working, if you can talk about it.
I think it's too early. I don't think we can even answer that yet. Cool.
I just wanted to comment on the importance, just to stress you out a little bit more on fantastical avatars.
I love being stressed out.
I wanted to comment on the importance of facial movement in fantastical avatars, because there have been several that have come out that are entirely static-faced, and I think it kind of kills the social dynamic that Horizon has as one of its greatest strengths.
Okay. David Harris, take a note. Blend shapes for fantastical avatar faces.
Please.
Hard, but
I understand.
The team knows.
But very
hard.
necessary.
Hear you, totally. I can't give you a timeline on that, but I will put it on the list to check in with the team. Cool. More hands. Hi.
Hi, YG Matt Killa VR here. So I really, creating avatar clothing has become one of my, favorite passions now.
Yes.
And I've been contacted to make them for people's brands. I make clothing lines for other people's stores, not just myself. And I love what you guys did with the back to school collections and stuff. I was wondering if you're going to do any more requests like that, because that really just got me going, to make a whole collection designed for back to school, just the whole style and vibe for that. So I really love that kind of request, and I just want to know if we're getting any more like that.
Yes, you will be getting requests for themes. The themes for Halloween will be Halloween fun, obviously, and K-pop. I don't know, you guys. Are we excited about K-pop? Also in my house. Okay, microphone.
Hi, Jake. Yeah, I got a question about the like
I can't see who's talking. Hi.
NPCs wearing clothing. Cause like there's a couple experiences like I want to develop, but we can't even override their clothing.
Yes.
So yeah.
David, take a note. Sorry.
So it's not like a thing.
We want it to be a thing. This is like letting you know how the sausage is made. The NPC creation stuff uses a slightly older back end that can't see your creator clothing. David, we need to let Igor know that we got this question because I've asked about it. We do want to do it. I can't give you a timeline, but I will let them know and nag them a bit. Cool.
Christina, we have time for like one or two more questions. I know Habiter has.
There are so many hands,
up.
Jen.
I know.
Go.
Hi, Homemade here. First and foremost, happy birthday, Elastic. Secondly, any more portable items like, the Holy Grail being portable pets, for example?
So interesting. Portable pets. Definitely don't have a timeline. Another topic of hot debate. Definitely something that we've been experimenting with in a non-portable way. So stay tuned, but I don't have anything to share on pets yet. I do love pets. As a WoW player, I spent an obscene amount of time earning pets. Okay. Oh my God. There.
Oh,
Do you have a
hello?
mic? Can we get a microphone here?
I have it.
Oh, okay. Go. That is one, and then we make two. Okay. Hi.
Benjamin from Habit XR.
Hi.
One of the features you mentioned encouraging users to use was the attaching in-world items to quests. Seems like a cool feature. We already do that with PPVs. We already have a ton of ways to do that in world that are a lot more flexible.
Okay.
And I guess my question is like, does that feature exist because you plan on doing more with that feature? Is it because you're trying to make it easier to attach it to quests and like lower the floor for that sort of mechanic? Like what is the value add of something like that? And similarly with avatar stat items and item traits, it's cool that we can do it with that, but we could already do it with that, with PPVs and all that good stuff.
I think you could do avatar item traits only with attachables. I don't think you'd be able to
We can
detect
track
somebody's clothing.
PPVs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why should you do it our way? Because we want to be able to bubble your quests and your rewards up to the top level of the platform.
Does that mean that in-world quests will become platform-level quests in the way that some meta-sponsored have been like, for example, go play Spin the Bottle for 30 minutes, right? Is that something that will be able to surface on a platform level rather than an in-world level?
Yes, that is the goal.
When?
In addition to deep links and you sharing that into your worlds, we have a quest hub inside the Horizon mobile app, but all of that content is ours, and that's not helpful to you. So if you can do it in that really structured way, so we understand the data model, we can surface that stuff up to the top of the platform.
That's a great reason to do it your way.
Excellent. I love having great reasons. Okay, one more.
People ask me a lot about accessories. I was wondering if we're going to get that anytime soon, like glasses and purses or jewelry.
Yeah. Okay. Do I have Alice Shan in the room? Alice Shan will be putting together more research on which categories we should unlock for you. And it'll be structured in a way that we can get a sense of the relative priority quantitatively across the creator audience. So look out for that research. Put your votes behind the things that you think are most important, because again, each one of these that we pick up is like an absurd amount of work. So yes, we want to. Is it the next most important thing? Not sure. I think after headwear, face paint and makeup is really important. And the reason I think that is because the face takes up about 25% of the pixels on the texture atlas for the avatar, and everyone is 5'8". We're all the same height, so we're all looking at one another's faces. So I think face paint and makeup, but I would like to know what you think. Are we done? I'm sorry, you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Christina.